Go for it.
So I got to clear things. All right, so we'll call to order the December 8th meeting of the Park and Recreation Community Ed. And I guess we can start with commissioner updates. Does anybody have anything? Sean, Mike, you got anything?
I have nothing.
Saul, any updates?
No updates from me.
All right, there we go. So we can move on next to the acceptance of the minutes from the previous meetings. That would be the November 10th meeting.
Correct.
Did you send it, Alicia?
Yep, I sent it out at the end of last week or earlier this. No, it was the end of last week.
I just saw it. December 1st. They were sent out.
Yep.
So at some point, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
I'm ready. I don't know if everybody's seen them yet.
I have. Everybody ready?
I am ready.
Almost there. Okay.
All right. Do we have a motion to approve the minutes of the November 10th meeting?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. It's been made and seconded. All in favor? Sean?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Saul?
Yes.
And I'm yes as well. Motion's approved unanimously. All right. And now we want to go on to the Cultural Council, correct?
Yes. So we have Kim here tonight to represent. Let's see. And there were just a few things to kind of go over really quickly. I have met with Tim. Can you go back one slide? All right. There you go. Perfect. So Saul and I both met with Amy Green yesterday to talk about the location of the Rock Garden Labyrinth, and because last meeting we had a concern about if it was close to the wetlands border. She is absolutely fine. Feels like it's a very far enough distance that we wouldn't have to go through any permitting, or conservation wouldn't have any concerns. I also got an email that I passed on to you all from Chris Stoddard. So he's the director of public works. So he just expressed concern about funding for maintenance and the staff to be funding for staff wages to implement the maintenance ongoing into the future. So those were the two concerns that we heard from the highway department, and conservation had no concerns. So that kind of ties everything back up from the last meeting, from questions that you all had about this project. So I will turn it over to Kim if you've got any statements, questions, comments.
Well, I could maybe comment about the concern about the maintenance. Can you hear me?
Yes, indeed.
Yes.
Okay, good. I spoke to someone on the garden club, and they are willing to take it on for maintenance. So, and I think I may be speaking out of turn, but Mike Cataldo has generously offered to do a lot of, if not all of the installation. And I think we could, if there's any heavy lifting for maintenance in the future, I'm sure we could implore him to give us a hand. So I don't think our DPW is going to get saddled with all of it. I assume they're still going to mow the grass and so forth around it, but I don't think it'll take a lot of maintenance anyway.
One other concern that, we were sort of talking about the other day when Saul and Amy and I were out there was, what, and it's more of just sort of a discussion to think about this. So what do we do moving forward? Let's say we implement this to prevent kids from just kind of dropping rocks willy-nilly, if you will, through the park. So for example, if it ends up in the grass when highway is mowing, that could ruin equipment or, hurt someone. Or Amy had brought up an instance where folks had actually gone onto the trails and painted some of the rocks in like a rock wall. So those are the type of things that, just having a general discussion about that is that, the rocks just kind of being dropped everywhere, that's a safety issue. We need to talk about that. But what's the feeling if somebody were to come in and, paint one of the rocks that's in the rock wall that's around, Castle and the trees?
Yeah, well, honestly, we haven't really thought of those things. So I would probably go back to Geraldine Miller, who's doing the design or the overall planning and design of it, and just see if she has any ideas about that. And we could brainstorm a little bit, but I think those are good concerns. I think a lot of this is going to be PR too. And, most of the kids there, I think, come with their parents, as I recall. My kids are quite a bit older now, but, and I think if we can get the parents on board with what the idea is, maybe they'll do a little policing with some,
It's probably also an opportunity to have kind of an explanation, a place where you can have an explanation of the sort of etiquette of rocks and painted rocks of, there are places where they're appropriate, there are places where they're not appropriate, there are rocks that are appropriate to paint, and there are some that are not. So
right. So that's a good point, because we were going to have a plaque and have some kind of a very nice, kind of saying, as an entry point. But maybe there is some discussion on that plaque about what's appropriate, what's expected. So I'll mention that to Geraldine, see what we can integrate there. So I think that's a good idea. I think good concerns.
Great. So do you guys want to wait until next month to kind of come back and make a decision on this, or, to allow the Cultural Council to sort of talk through some of these things and get like a final idea of what everything's going to be? What would you like?
I'm for it. I think it's a wonderful idea, and I'm open to letting them take the next steps to proceed with it.
I agree with Mike. I'm ready to vote. I don't think anything's going to change my opinion on it before next month. That's my feeling.
Saul?
yeah, no, I'm for it. I guess, what do we have a sense of what the schedule is? I'm assuming we're not going to see a lot of work during the winter.
No, I think what we're going to do is implement it in the spring, if you all vote for it. And the winter time now would be the PR time. The rest of the committees would, they already have a write-up ready to go. I think they want to do something with the TV station. And so it would be all PR from this point to the spring. Get people excited about it. I think there's going to be a ribbon cutting and a little event for kids to come, socially distanced and all that. And bring rocks, or Geraldine was thinking maybe even, an opportunity to paint a rock while they're there under her direction, no painting walls. And so I think, we got a good few months to get everybody to know what's happening.
Yeah, I'm certainly in favor of it. I think we can can continue to work on the details, but as the concept and what we've seen so far, I think it's good.
I just wish it was 4 months earlier so that,
Yeah.
we could, enjoyed it, with the time, it would have been great to have it.
We tried.
Yeah, kind of.
It's tough.
Yep.
All right. Do you know what you want in a motion, Alicia?
It's up to you guys. Essentially, you're approving a space dedicated to this rock garden that will be created and implemented by the Cultural Council. Something to that effect.
Okay. All right. So we'll have a motion and let's make Geraldine the enforcer of all the rules. Let's put that right into the motion.
She has to be there on a daily basis.
I think that's perfect.
She'll love that.
All right. So do we have a motion to approve this project?
I make a motion to approve the rock garden project, and let the Cultural Society take the lead on it, and get back to us with any further news and guidance. Is that good enough?
What just happened?
I
Is that good
second
enough?
it.
Okay, yeah, I was just wondering if that was good enough.
All right. All right. So the motion's been made and seconded. All in favor? Sean,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Saul,
Yes.
and I'm yes as well. So the motion's been made and approved.
Great. Thank you very much. I'll let the committee know.
Thank you for coming, Kim.
Thanks, Kim,
Thank
for
you.
coming.
Kim, before you leave, just so we touch on the other part for Chris, can we set a timeline to revisit developing a maintenance plan that we can put forth before this committee and Chris Stoddard, so that we have that in writing? We don't
Yeah.
want to.
Yep. Why don't we put something together and get on your agenda? Maybe next month.
I can absolutely do that. Yep.
And I know we're bumping up into the holiday, so I don't know what your next meeting's going to be, when it is.
So we always meet the second Tuesday of every month. So the next meeting will be January 12th.
Oh, I think that's doable. Let me get back to the committee. I'll let you know if we can't make it, but let's assume we can, and I think that's a good idea.
Sounds great.
Great.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
All right. Sorry, I have too many windows open. All right, next we had the schedule.
Yes. So in here, like we said, we meet the second Tuesday of every month, and we have a 7 p.m. start time. So I guess that's the first conversation is, are folks wanting to stick with that, or is there any suggestions or wanting to change that date or time?
That works for me.
Fine here.
Good for me.
Yep, I'm fine with it.
Yeah, I don't see any dates, that run on holidays or anything like that. So.
Yep, I went through and I double checked everything. So no, there's no conflicts of interest when it comes to holidays and things like that.
Did you make sure none of them fell on Mike's birthday?
I didn't.
I did look. More often than not, it does. It seems that way.
Wow.
Yeah. I think it's
It
2 years
didn't
in a
fall
row.
on mine this year, so that's good.
So we don't have a leap year this go around, so we should be in the clear for Mike's birthday for 2 years in a row. We should be okay for 3 years.
You guys are just mean.
But all of those dates that are up there are the ones that would be the second Tuesday of every month.
All right.
Got to make a vote.
I will make a motion to accept the second Tuesday of the month at 7 p.m. for the next calendar year as the time for us to meet the Park Rec Community Education Commission.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Sean?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Saul?
Yes.
And I'm yes as well. All right, that's approved. And why do I keep tabbing out of that window? Okay, program update.
All right. Alyssa, you just want me to hop on this?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So the monitored remote learning program, we still are running that at O'Neill Cinema. We have seen kind of a steady, not really a huge decline, but a trickle from the time that we started in September to the time that we are now. I think there's been various factors from, parents finding other sitters to just kind of working around the schedules of schools and, being able to be a little more flexible than the beginning. Currently, we're averaging about 6 kids a day for each days of the week, double that on Wednesdays. And our half-day programs are, running fairly well. So I believe this month we'll see 153 individual uses, not individual uses, but we'll see 153 uses throughout the course of the month.
That might change because Baker, today set back, right? We're back to, phase 3, level 1 right now. He went back, so maybe that impacts more families. Now who knows?
Yeah, so we'll continue to monitor the situation. The program is, still doing very well as far as, being able to help the members of the community who have a need for it. As far as cleaning protocols and safety protocols, everything is top notch. Everybody from, everybody on staff is kicking in, doing a great job, doing everything from helping the kids do math to scrubbing toilets every single day. So, it's really been a challenging program, but it's definitely much needed. So it's been an awesome program. Any questions about anything?
Yeah, I'm curious. We've had a few cases in Littleton. They've risen. Was there, through contact tracing, was there anything that that impacted the program at all in that regard?
So we're really strict about the procedures so that, if parents have had any, like if they even think the kids are not feeling well, we ask them not to bring them. So, that's something that, again, like I said, we're very strict on it, that we ask the parents if, they're in any of those situations that they just don't bring the kids to the program. So to this point, we've been really good.
So in other words, you weren't contacted, for any of the cases through contact tracing. That hasn't happened through this program.
Us? We wouldn't be contacted directly. No, the parents would be.
The families would be, Mike, but as far as we know, no, we have not had any instances where we have had any of our patrons or students affected by anything like that. And we did have 2 cases where there were students who were tested from family possible exposure, but they were out of the program until they returned with a negative test and everything else. They were never actually on site. And, one of the things, having them for only 3 days a week, it's kind of a little bit of Russian roulette, but we've lucked out where the kids who were, exposed weren't with us on the days that happened. So by attrition, they have 5 days they're not with us before, so luckily the couple instances that happened, they weren't with us when this was all happening, and we were able to keep them out for the remainder of the time until they had what they needed.
Got it. That's good news.
All right. Anything else with this program? All right. So I'm going to switch off this screen real quick and just go to a couple of the other, I don't know if I have it open. Let me just check. So sorry, jumping the gun there a little bit. Programs. So a couple things that we have coming down the line. So screen share. sorry, it's not on the PowerPoint slide. This is our brand new, super exciting partnership with GG League. So we are starting into the e-gaming world. We have 5, what is to be 6 leagues that will be available starting in January. So basically what happens, we will have Super Smash Brothers, Fortnite, FIFA 21, Madden 21, NBA 2K, and tomorrow we'll have Rocket League loaded into this. We're also going to offer Minecraft with Ryan Ritchie, who is one of our seasonal staff members who runs that. So basically what'll happen is children, we have 2 different divisions, elementary, middle, and high school. It's $30 for a 6-week program. There is 1 hour worth of play each night for 5 weeks. And on week 6, there is a round robin tournament for a champion. So the elementary school divisions will play Monday through Thursday, 7 to 8 p.m. respectively. The high school division, middle school and high school divisions will play Monday through Thursday at 8 to 9 p.m. respectively. So we already have a couple registrations for this. It's going pretty well. It seems like it's going to be something super exciting. It's, obviously very COVID friendly because you're sitting in the comfort of your own home. Kids are already doing gaming. So what we've created is we created a league that is not only Littleton, but a lot of the North Shore towns who are in our Massachusetts Park and Recreation Association cohort. So there's 6 of the towns who are doing this launch with us. And eventually what we'll do is we'll have end of the season tournaments between the 6 towns. So Littleton will pick the top players in our league and have them go up against Newburyport and Concord and Lexington and things like that. And we'll kind of work this into that. So that's going to be our launch of the e-gaming come January. Any questions?
Mind blowing. Elementary school, huh? You have enough for an elementary school league.
Oh yeah, it's pretty popular. We've had quite a few emails since we launched yesterday.
For what it's worth, you can actually gamble on Rocket League on the daily fantasy sites like DraftKings and FanDuel. Have the contests up there. Well, you're saying what? In March, believe me, there was nothing else to do.
I understand that.
So we will have a March Madness tournament, Fred, for adults if you'd like to get in. However, I do think you kind of hit the nail on the head. So one of the reasons that we decided to go with GG Leagues is they are really, really conscious to the fact that there are some dark sides of this world. So each of the games has a coach as well as a referee in game. They monitor. You can kind of see this is on our platform right now. So the rules are pretty strict. Any of these 5 things that happen is an immediate dismissal and ban from the league. So any kind of profanity or hate speech, disruptive behavior, insults, abusive behavior, harassment, or discrimination. So that's immediately dismissal, not tolerated at all. Parents are able to control who their kids are communicating with. There is no voice chat in any of the games that is regulated through GG Leagues. There is the ability to do quick chat, which this quick chat that they have set up is preset messages, kind of like on your cell phone when you're driving. So you actually can't type in what you want to type in. So it's like, great job, those kind of things. It's really restrictive to what can actually be said. Now, there are ways for kids to be around this that parents, obviously need to monitor. There are different chat functions that can be downloaded and everything else. So we are asking the parents to do their part. But as far as the gaming is actually set up, it is pretty restrictive in communication and things going awry. Like I said, GG Leagues will appoint a league manager and referee to oversee the league and also be in game every single game to monitor this. They handle any disputes. Staff members monitor win-loss reporting. So we'll have a weekly scoreboard for everybody who's in the league to see where they actually rank. And we'll be able to see our scores and brackets versus the other towns in our league for the purpose of the tournaments. As far as the platforms go, we are currently operating on Nintendo and PlayStation and PC. There is not currently an Xbox option. PlayStation 5 is not supported because of the software programming issues. EA Sports specifically is not ready to be able to have PlayStation 5 be integrated into these systems. And the only cross-platform games, meaning PlayStation, Xbox, Nintendo, PCs that can play together, are going to be Rocket League and Fortnite. Everything else, you have to have a PlayStation in order to be able to play at this time.
How many towns are in this right now, Tim? I can't remember off the top of my head. 7?
Yeah.
And that's in our North Shore region.
Yes, that's our North Shore League. And then
Well, you mentioned Concord, so that's not quite north, right?
yeah. And then Metro West has a league as well.
Okay.
All right. Any questions? I'm going to move on if that's good. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick so I can transition. So let's see here. So next, what we're going to have, Finley. Shh. All right. Next thing that we're going to have going on, we launched it today. We already have 7 families registered, is our Wachusett Mountain Family Ski Club. So this will be beginning on January 4th, 2021. Students and parents, grades 3 and up, are eligible to participate under our code. The program will take place on Mondays from 1:45. From 2:30 until 7. It's a 6-week program. Our staff members will arrive at 1:45 to go into the lodge, collect our tickets, verify all of our lessons and everything for today to limit the amount of people interacting with their staff. We ask that everybody on our in our program show up between 2:30 and 3 o'clock, meet us at the rally point, and collect their lift ticket for the day. We also have a lesson time available, so that will be at 3:50 each day, and we'll assist the children in getting into their lessons and meeting their instructors. And then everybody will have until 7 o'clock to free ski on the mountain as a family. So currently, Wachusett is sold out of annual passes, and they're also sold out of public lessons. So this is really one of the only ways to access the mountain for the remainder of the year. There is a $150 family registration fee that is paid directly to us that will cover the setup fees as well as the cost of one of us to be there each week to monitor the program and take care of everything. At checkout, upon paying that one-time fee, you receive your unique code as well as the link to our site at Wachusett. You follow the link to the website, you put in the code, and then you sign up as many members of your household as you want for the $151. Add-ons that come with that are, for an additional $71, you can do a 6-week, 50-minute lesson for anybody, including the parents, if they would like to do that. There is beginner through advanced lessons happening at those periods. If you need rentals, which include skis and ski boots, snowboard or snowboard boots, and a helmet, that's an additional $24 for the 6 weeks. There's a pass and badge insurance, which is basically if you, for whatever reason you end up not being able to come, they can refund your fee. And then a terrain park pass for $5 per person. So the terrain park, for those of you who aren't skiers, there's all sorts of obstacles that you definitely do not want to hit while you're going down a ski hill, but you also like to slide across them, jump on them, flip them. If that's your thing, you can definitely go down through that as well. So the reason that this is much different from what we normally offer is the main hitch is families/pod groups are required to transport themselves to and from Wachusett. We will not be offering transportation this year. Really, what the kind of the link here is we were able to get this reserved time because we are a group that's worked with them in the past. There is restricted access to the mountain during these times for anybody but school groups. And after they figure out how many people are in the school groups that are coming on Mondays, they will allow that many spots open for season pass holders. So it is limited access. It's going to be family groups only on the ski lifts. So there's not going to be any single rider lines or anything like that anymore. With all that said, you can follow this link, Wachusett COVID-19 information, and it will tell you everything else that the mountain is doing to keep you and your family safe as we do it. So that is, like I said, going on right now as well. Both the e-gaming and the skiing launched yesterday. Questions?
So, Tim, in the past, we had a program with Neshoba. I'm just curious, why the switch?
So we've always done Neshoba, and we did Neshoba for elementary and middle school the first year. And then last year we took the elementary school kids to Neshoba and the middle school kids to Wachusett because it was just a better experience for the older kids. Okay. This year, Neshoba, based off of their size and the COVID-19 guidance, not that they pulled the rug out from under us, but they kind of did. They're running everything in-house. So all of the school groups, everything else, you have to sign up directly through them. They've kind of cut us completely out of the loop. So it's Wachusett had the opportunity for us to be able to kind of run this as normal without the transportation piece. So, thankfully we were able to get everybody third grade and above the opportunity to do this.
That's great.
So, it's one of the only mountains within travel distance. It's about 37 minutes away from Park and Rec. And the other smaller mountains, that you can drive to, you have to start crossing in New Hampshire. So there's a whole different, thing with the travel going on there. So
yeah,
it worked out well.
Yeah. Thanks. Good program. Thanks for organizing it.
No problem. All right, let me get back to the PowerPoint here. So we did that. We did e-gaming. Alicia, I honestly know nothing about, and I apologize for saying that. I do not know anything about the craft club except the little 30-second blurb that Rachel gave me today. So I will hand it over.
I don't know if mine will be more than the 30-second blurb. So Rachel's been really successful with the Adventures program. And so this is something that she wants to do to continue that theme throughout the winter. So there's a certain point where it just gets too cold and too dark to continue doing adventures, especially with the littler kids. So like I said, we still want to do something in that vein. So the concept is watching nature documentaries with a craft involved with it. So the one thing that we're still trying to figure out is the location that we would actually have this, since actual indoor spaces are kind of limited to us at this time. So we're looking at a few different opportunities right now. But that would be one of the newer programs that Rachel's trying to implement to be able to still have something for the adventure kids to do moving forward. So that's pretty much it. That's the quick rundown of that one. Let me see if I had anything else in here. I got my notes up. Nope, I think that's it. Just that we're, trying to lock in that location of where we can have it. As Mike had mentioned, we did move, the state did pull back to phase 3, step 1, which honestly, really, we've been kind of operating our program still in phase 2, just to be cautious. So there's a lot of things that I don't honestly think this step back is going to affect our department and anything that we do. It may affect some of the spaces that we use or we consider using. So that's the only aspect of it. So, hopefully we're trying to get that set up for January. So we will figure out where we're going to put it. Okay. Tim,
well, while we're on that,
yeah.
I don't know, this is down the road. Do you just want to kind of fill everybody in on the conversations as far as space that we've been having?
Sure. So we had a meeting with Anthony Insaldi, who is the town administrator, and Elder and Human Services Director Ashley Shahan, and I think it was just the three of us. No, Joe Layden was there too, so assistant town administrator. So, both Elder and Human Services and Parks and Rec kind of want to be able to use some of the spaces back in the building again. So we were talking about the multi-purpose room and the use of it, because in the town, the multi-purpose room is the largest space available to any of the departments at this current time for programming. So it would allow us 20 in phase 2, and I think it would be going back to 17 in phase 1. But I think at this point in time, it's the purview of the town administrator's office and the Board of Selectmen that they really don't want people back in the building. So, for us to be able to use that space, we were it's not something I think that everyone's amenable to at this point in time. So right now we're looking at if the library is amenable to it. The Cooper Room, which has not been used by the public at this point. And then there's always the option of the VFW Hall over on Taylor Street. So we do have a couple of options to be able to run some programming, but that's the hard part with winter, is that, we can do some things outside, but the majority of things typically are done inside. So it's not a great, place to be in when you're dealing with COVID right now. All right. Tim, are you ready to move on to the next piece? Oh, you're on mute. Oh, weird.
I was getting there.
Sorry.
We have bedtime stories going on, so I was just making sure volumes were down.
Gotcha.
I don't know if you want to hear Daniel Tiger. All right. So this is typically the time, November, December, that we discuss Long Lake beach rates. Just wanted to kind of get this up and in front of everybody's face. We don't necessarily need to take a vote on it tonight. Just kind of wanted to let everybody know and kind of think about what the headspace was going to be in for this kind of coming summer. My recommendation at this point is, we kind of wait and see. We're not sure if it's going to be another COVID-19 summer, if it's going to be a hybrid of what we went through last summer and a normal summer, or if we're going to start getting back to, some sort of normalcy by the time that we come to June. But what I am recommending for this year, knowing that we've operated under COVID guidelines and we're extremely successful budget-wise, and knowing that we operated under normal guidelines and we're successful with our budget, that we, this year, knowing that, everybody's kind of had, different types of economic hits and things like that, I think that we remain steadfast with our pricing at the beach. So that would mean that resident families are $60, individuals are $25, couples are $40, seniors are $10, and senior couples are $15. To switch gears here for 1 second, because apologize that I just realized these weren't on the slides. That would mean that non-residents remain at $125. Non-resident individuals are $35. Couple non-residents are $75. Senior non-residents are $15. And additional parking stickers, regardless of residency, are $10 per car.
So just to clarify, by steadfast, Tim, you mean just keep the status quo, so keep the same cost that we had 2020 to 2021. Is that correct?
That is correct. Like I said, under both models, I've been able to follow the budget. We were able to, have either a small profit or we were break even. I think, just based off of everything, we figure out how to make it work again for this year. And then based off of where, we go in the future, we take a look at this in 22 to change anything.
Can you go back through those non-resident rates for me really quick? I need to get those in the minutes.
Yeah, no worries.
Sorry about
So just so everybody's aware, if you guys voted on this, it would be 2020 season pass would be, excuse me, I apologize. Where are we at right here? So it'd be $60 for resident families, $125 for non-resident families. It would be, it would be $25 for, this is for individuals, $25 for residents, $35 for non-residents. For couples, it would be $40 for resident couples, $75 for non-resident couples. Seniors, it would be $10 for resident seniors and $15 for non-resident seniors. And for additional cars, regardless of residency, it would be $10 per vehicle for an extra sticker. For senior couples, it is $15 for a resident senior couple and $30 for a non-resident senior couple.
Thank you.
So like I said, we don't have to vote on that tonight. We can, kick that down the road a little bit, but I just wanted everybody to kind of think about it. Last year we were successful. The year before that we were successful. So, in both models, we were able to make it work. Thankfully, the sailing program is extremely successful, and that kind of carried us last year, even despite losing swim lessons and some of the other entities that we normally are able to have. But I think, with proper planning, we'll be able to make it through summer 21 with these numbers.
Hey, Tim, it's Kevin. Sorry. I'm recovering from knee replacement surgery. So that's my video is not on. I look like hell. More than hell. I mean, more than usual, I should say. But it wasn't was it in the minutes that we were going to talk about or discuss or vote on rates for the beach?
Yeah, it was, yep.
Oh,
On the
it was.
agenda?
Okay. I didn't, I was sorry I was late, but I'm just thinking, like, I don't want us to get more of a headache because we'll get the emails about how it wasn't posted that we voted on, that this was going to be discussed in the December meeting. So I just wanted to double check to make sure that was clear that this was going to be discussed tonight.
So there you go, Kevin. It is second column, top one.
All right. I love it.
Sorry, first column, bottom one, second column, top one.
It doesn't look like that on the regular posted agenda, though. I just do that for the PowerPoint.
But Alicia, on the agenda I'm looking at, which is the one you emailed out, that's not on there.
I saw it. I thought it did.
Maybe I'm looking at the agenda that went out December 1st, along with the minutes from the previous meeting.
Hold on.
I saw the same thing, but I think that was not the one that was posted, I assume. It looked pretty incomplete. There were a bunch of things not in there.
All right, so let me do this.
All right, there's another agenda that went out on the 4th, Alicia.
Just hold on one second.
No, I'm saying I was looking at the one from the 1st, and on the 4th, you sent out a different one, which had this in it.
All right, so this is what was posted by the town clerk. So there you go.
Yeah.
Now, see, when you sent it out on the 1st, I printed it out and stuck it on my desk, so I had it.
So when I sent the one out on the 1st, that came with the email request to review and add any items that you may want to post.
I'm taking all the blame for screwing this up. I'm just saying. That's why I didn't see it.
I'm just clarifying. So this, in case anybody's watching, this is what was actually posted on the town meeting, on the town clerk's, on the webpage. So this is the official thing. So yes, it is on there, and that's how it was posted.
So you're just trying to gaslight me.
At this point, we have not made a determination on what we're going to do as far as a summer brochure. Normally, we make these votes so that we can do the vote now and we can put it into actual black and white ink in the brochure. We haven't even had that conversation as far as how we're going to market the summer yet.
Yeah.
But like I said, it's not urgent as it is in prior years to make this decision right now because it's not going to print in January like it normally does.
And we said this year, so when we had this year's budget approved, it was with the understanding that we would be operating off of a pared back budget. And that if, let's say, the vaccine came out sooner and that we were able to get back to some, normalcy, that we would be able to just get back to operations as normal. So that still has not happened to date. So that is one of the items that we definitely took out of the budget in the pared back budget was the brochures. So we did do one in fall, but that was something that we created in-house. So more than likely, if we move forward into spring and summer, it would be something that we would, create in-house as well and just do online.
All right. So getting back to the business at hand, just so that we can finish the conversation. 2021 operating dates. Come on, go away.
Tim, hold on one second. So do you guys want to take a vote on this or do you want to table it? It's up to you.
I mean, I think if it was posted and people had the opportunity to comment, but they didn't comment, if there's no reason why we shouldn't take a vote on it, it's going to be the same as yesterday. I'm assuming it'll help with the budget process and sort of forecasting what the summer is going to look like. I would be in favor of just voting it, and it's just one less thing to do.
I concur.
Yeah, I agree.
Yep, sounds good.
All right, I'm going to make a motion that we vote to accept the. Saul, I'm sorry, I didn't mean.
No, that's fine. No, I heard the concurrence. I don't have an objection, so I was just letting it go.
Okay, awesome. No, so I'm going to make a motion that we accept the Long Lake rates for season 2021.
Do you want to take that? Do we want to take this as two motions or just one? Just do both of them and then vote on that.
So they'll be separate. So one's for the rates and then the other one Tim was going into is for the
Okay.
time frame and
I just wasn't sure how you wanted. Okay.
All right, do we have a second?
I second.
All in favor? Sean,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Saul,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yes.
and I'm yes as well. Motion's made and approved. All right.
All right. Next piece is just the operating season. So just like last year, we will be weekend only operations Saturdays and Sundays, Memorial Day through the end of the school year, which I believe tentatively is the third week of June currently. Full beach operations will be end of Littleton school year through Labor Day Sunday, and beach closes for the season Labor Day Sunday, which is September
6th.
I believe, hang on, which is Sunday, September 5th, will be the last operating day of the beach. Hours of operation, once again, will remain the same. We won't, entertain any idea of extending hours. We got quite a considerable amount of feedback on that last year. So we will run it 10 to 5:30 for lifeguards on duty. Snack Shack will be 10 to 6. Last boat rentals will be at 5. Sundays will be 11 to 5:30 lifeguards on duty with Snack Shack 11 to 6 p.m. And based on COVID policies, we reserve the right to extend hours as needed to regulate the parking and any other COVID-19 policies as the commission and myself, the beach manager, see fit.
Any discussion? Do we want to make a motion to approve these hours?
I make a
Actually, one thing, Tim, we talked a little bit about some like evening sailing programs. Would that run separate from Snack Shack and lifeguards?
Yeah, so that would just be on the sailing program. So that staff would be completely separate of the beach. We would still turn over any sort of parking enforcement, any sort of enforcement otherwise to the PD at 6 o'clock or 6:30 when we officially close.
Cool. Okay.
That also absolves us of the liability of the swimming area. So once we make the announcement that it's swim at your own risk and that our staff is going off duty, so the sailing staff would be completely separate of that.
Sounds good.
Do we have a motion to approve the hours?
I'll make a motion for the 2021 operating dates and hours being the same as they were for 2020.
Do we have a second?
Second, Kevin?
All right, all in favor, Sean,
Yes.
Mike,
Yes.
Saul,
Yes.
Kevin,
Yep.
and I'm yes as well. The motion's approved.
All right. So the next thing that we need to discuss, and I had a phone conversation with Mike Lavasor based on this, is the ongoing renovations and CPC funding request for Long Lake Bathhouse. About a month ago, just to kind of fill everybody in, and we discussed this a little bit last meeting, so kind of refresh everybody. The issue was brought up that there were certain things, because we were so focused and specific in our request, that we weren't able to actually use the funds that we had set aside for the engineering of the electrical and the plumbing for the new bathhouse. With that said, we have approximately $16,000 remaining out of the first CPC request to kind of finish up the projects that are left. And my conversation that I had with Mike the other day is, what I'm hoping to do is we keep the money that we currently have to finish and finalize the projects that we're working on. And we go to a town meeting with a CPC request for what would be approximately $25,000 to cover engineering design for electrical and plumbing for the new snack shack. That money would not be available to us until the Springtown meeting vote and subsequently July, at which point, hopefully we could get that work finalized and the engineering could be completed, and then we can use the balance of the $16,000 as planned to actually have the work completed. So things like having the work done was included in the original line items, but the actual engineering work was not. Next step would be for us being myself and Mike, have a conversation with Mitt, see what we need to do moving forward, have a better understanding of how to write this particular CPC request so that we don't get ourselves in a situation where we're too specific, and we can have a little more leeway on how and who we're choosing and things like that. And then be able to get the additional funding based off of another conversation that we have to have with Ed Mullen, the town building inspector, to just kind of help me get a better ballpark as far as what, that number should really be that we're requesting, to make sure that we're covered for exactly what we need in order to pull the permits to get that work done. So questions on that?
Yes, none, Tim.
All right. So my next step is I am going to write all of exactly what we need out. I need to have a conversation with Ed Mullen. after I'm done with that, I am going to have a conversation with Mike Lavasor, and I will itemize everything in an email. And then at which point Mike can talk to Mitt privately, or I'd be happy to be part of that conversation so we can come up with a plan to get on the CPC meeting with a request that's properly written and amenable to the CPC in order to execute the engineering that we need to have done. We will continue to move along with the project with the remaining $15,000 funding that we already have in hand. Once we're able to get, things going based off of, normal winter timeline. And then once we're able to get the, hopefully secure the new funding, get the engineered drawings, get them approved, get the building permits from Ed, and finalize the new Snack Shack project. So that's the timeline and the plan that we're hoping to go with. Questions?
Apparently not.
All right. Take it away, Alicia. All right. You mind switching slides for me? All right. So, director's report, we, just a couple of things I wanted to mention before we jump into the finances. Is Town Hall is currently closed. So it was closed on Monday and will be through Friday, December 11th. That being said, this is the last week for Holiday Helpers gift drop off. So I will be in the office the entire week during business hours from 9 to 3 to collect any of those items from individuals that want to drop off. So it's an important date for us to keep just because our enrolled families will be picking up next week. So if we have notes outside on the door, information up on social media and the website. But if, folks can't meet the business hours, which are Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m., just to contact me directly and I'll work something out with them to figure out a drop off time so we can get all the gift items in. Any questions about any of that? Okie dokie. Go back, Tim. He's speeding through stuff. Okay. So again, it's the same stuff that we've been talking about month to month. I didn't really add a ton on here. This month we are in the positive, but we are lower in the positive than we were in the prior month. We did lower the rates for the monitored remote learning program. So that has affected the income that we would normally have. Plus, there's less programming that's going on as we get closer to winter. So, but like I said, we're still in the positive, which is good. So that is our November overview. Any questions about that? Okay. And so the same thing for year to date. So our current actual net, I guess, if you will, what we have left in our budget is $95,890. So still every month I'll list the year-to-date indirect costs that do affect our overall expense. So we have the one-time yearly retirement deduction, which is taken out in July. So that'll just remain there for the rest of the year. Our staff benefits up to this point are just over 23,000. Office supplies are around 4,300. And the utilities at this point are around just under 4,000. All right. Any questions about any of that? Brad, you either look really bored or you're thinking super hard.
No, I'm just leaning over on the side. I'm good. I'm not bored and,
The last piece of this is that we are currently in the fiscal 22, if you can believe it, budget season. So I do have a first draft of our requested budget in to the finance department. I do have a meeting set up with Betsy Bowling, our FinCom representative, on Thursday. So if anyone's interested in attending, I'd love to have somebody from the Park Commission or any of you there if you want to be. If you are interested, just let me know and I can forward you the Zoom details for that meeting that we discussed with them. So we'll just be reviewing and going over what we're requesting and, you know, any concerns that Betsy might have representing, you know, the finance committee as the whole town. So anybody?
you want to send the link out? Or a
Well,
reminder?
I can send it to just, yeah, I can send it out to everybody. And if you want to come, you want to come. I didn't want to overwhelm because it's like Betsy and one other person and then all of you show up, which you can't do because that's against open meeting law. So you can only have 2 people come. That's why I want.
What were the odds of all 5 of us showing up?
Not likely.
I know Mike will be there, but
I have to verbally say that yes, there could only be 2 members at this meeting. So if you're interested, send me an email. I'll send you the link. How about we do that?
fair enough.
When is it?
The meeting itself is Thursday. Hold on one moment. Pulling up my schedule here. It is Thursday, this Thursday, the 10th at 12 p.m. So noon. Don't all jump on it at once.
Actually, I won't. I know I won't go because I've got a 7:30 and a 9 already.
I won't be able to make it. I have a work conflict.
Lunch?
I can come if we want another representative there.
Okay. All right. So Mike and Saul, Kevin, I didn't hear anything from you. I'm assuming, Kevin, that you are probably busy.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be able to make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
I'll have to, on my end, I'll have to let you know.
Okay. So I'll send it to you, Mike, and you, Saul, and you can put it on your schedule. If you can be there, awesome. If you can't,
Okay, fair enough.
So let's see. Was there anything else? Nope, just that we're starting the process and that meeting with FinCom. That's it. Okay. Special events. Holiday Helpers 5K. Go, Tim. You're on mute.
So we put the Holiday Helpers 5K virtual this year. Unfortunately, it hasn't really landed that great. I think virtual races, and especially being outside in the cold right now, without the allure of running in costumes and trophies and all sorts of stuff, just kind of didn't really land. So with that said, you know, the wonderful thing is that a lot of the community members who could have come through, and the virtual gift tree has been, you know, very well picked up. We have also had some amazing donations coming in from different entities and businesses and things like that. So despite not having the race revenue and, you know, the donation from the point like we normally do, we seem to be in a pretty good place for this year. And, you know, hopefully with everything, you know, moving in the right direction and vaccines and, you know, the thought process of how we move forward, we'll be able to get this back in line for next year and something that's successful. And we'll, you know, brainstorm what those opportunities are going to be. Questions about that?
Were you going to extend it, or are you just going to shut it down?
Nope, I extended it pretty much all the way through, I think, Christmas right now. I think it's the Friday before Christmas. It's extended out. So people can still sign up. It's still there. I can put up the link again for anybody who doesn't have it, just to send out a reminder. But I think as of Sunday, we had 6 registrations. So it wasn't doing too well this year. All right. So moving on in special events, one of the things that we were kicking down the road today in our brainstorming session, Rachel, John, and I's Tuesday morning stuck in O'Neill Theater brainstorming. So the next step is I need to talk to the public health officials and everybody else, but we're going to try to figure out a way to do a rolling rally with the big guy in the red suit sometime in the next couple weekends, like we did for the Easter Bunny. So we're going to more to come on that, but we're going to try to put something together and get Santa Claus out and about in Littleton, since a lot of places don't have him visiting this year for pictures and the normal things. So if we make it happen, we will. And if he's not able to visit this year, then we'll make sure that we get him back next year. All right.
Like us on Facebook, and any surprise visits will be posted there for sure.
All right. New business.
None. Yeah.
All right.
That's,
There we go.
gentlemen.
Any comments on this?
No, pretty self-explanatory.
I thought this was a list of all the exciting things I've done this month.
Oh, Fred.
I'm going to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
All in favor, Sean,
Yes.
Mike,
Yep.
Kevin, Saul.
Yes.
All right. I'm assuming Kevin either can't hit
Yeah.
the.
No, I was a yes, but I was just muted.
I guessed you were. Plus, you're
I haven't
outvoted if
gotten
you
the
weren't.
Zoom thing down yet. I don't know why.
Painkillers.
That's what I
Thank
thought.
you, Sean. Yes.
All
No,
right.
that's my fault. I selected a option on the Zoom, which I will not do again.
All right, guys, let me hang